back channel. Put the kids to sleep, folks, here, because tonight's program is NSFW, family and anything else here. Compliments of the hardcore MAGA right. It will be an obscene program because you're dealing with obscene people. And as I told everyone years ago, if we ever disappear from the frame, if these folks were ever given what they always claimed they wanted, it was not going to be a world of peace. It was going to be more anarchy and nonsense than you ever imagined. And in one calendar week, that's exactly what has unfolded. Wasn't it just last week we were talking about how they, in their pathetic attempt to re-legitimize white supremacist arch-fiend Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson found themselves embroiled in more nonsense than ever when their attack dog turned immediately on them and the fighting was going on. Well, a bunch of other folks got together this week and said, hold my beer, on top of other things. Over there in the e-girls community, oh man, the white supremacist females were going at each other hammer and tong. One chick said she was getting married and all the rest of them descended on them. Pearly things. White supremacist YouTuber, she thought she was going to jump into the middle of it here, and the other white supremacist female started giving her the business. Folks, it's been ugly as hell over there. Not hell, ugly as hell over there. But that's not enough. Oh no, the big gals got to join into it now. What? Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer, they're back at it again. And folks, all I can say is that things have just taken a rather vicious turn. I mean, this is worse than Jerry Springer. It's taken an outrageously vicious turn all in one calendar week, people. One calendar week. That was all. You thought the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef was vicious. You ain't seen nothing yet. All right. Let me go ahead and walk you all through this right quick. And yes, we will be giving you the 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive absolutely positively nowhere else. Give you a little bit of background on this, and this is an all villains cast. Once again, there are no heroes here. It is an all villains cast, and I say throw in some hardware, some medieval weaponry, put them all in a cage, and let nature take its course would be the best result for all of us. All right, let's go ahead and start here with white supremacist, Jewish white supremacist Laura Loomer, who right now isn't popular on anybody's list of anything except Trump's for some strange reason. We'll get to that. And this is going to take some twists and turns, so bear with me. I'm going back here for a last year because when Kamala Harris was running for president, Laura Loomer decides to go ahead and jump in this here. She says, she puts up this photo and she says, if Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center, and the American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer satisfaction survey at the end of the call that nobody will understand. So that was Laura's first salvo. And then, of course, Laura puts up this. Cooking my Sunday din, you feels me. I got this hot sauce in my purse. A bee be hangry till she get her spicy greens. Don't forget to thank a union member. So, Laura Loomer doing what white supremacists do. Marjorie Taylor Greene responded, this is appalling and extreme. Now, this was last year. She said, this is appalling and extremely racist. It does not represent who we are as Republicans or MAGA. This does not represent President Trump. This type of behavior should not be tolerated ever. Laura Loomer should take this down. Then she goes a little bit further. Marjorie said, little bit of a history lesson for a few of you, and I've warned about this going on for decades now. When you enable these white supremacist attack dogs and think that it's funny because you tell yourself they're only going to go after the black folk. When you have a monster that is weaned and given a steady diet of hate, it's not going to stop hating just because there's no black people around. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, a little bit of history lesson for a few of you. Laura and I used to be friends. What? Going back to 2018, I used to defend her and support her like in this post here. So, there you go. The two of y'all all bosom buddy. Bleach blondes and bottle brunettes, so far as I can tell. And she was, you can't silence Laura's voice. Now, those words are going to come back to bite Marjorie Taylor Greene viciously on her backside. She's going to want she went from you can't silence her voice to saying, shut, she's going to be telling her to be quiet. I endorsed her first run for Congress, donated to her, and fundraised for her, and then she lost. Then when she ran again against Daniel Webster, no relation, I'm sure, to Daniel Webster, I told her to run in another district so she could win, but she refused. When I didn't endorse her, she turned on me and began attacking me and lying about me. I still advocated for her to get her former Twitter account back, now X account. Laura has lied so much about me and others like Matt Gaetz. Find a different horse to back, Marjorie. Even though we are President Trump's most loyal and fierce elected members of Congress. She breaks a few good stories here and there, but there are many others she embellishes or flat out lies. However, her attacks have no bearing on me. Just wait. Nor am I concerned with what she says. As a matter of fact, outside of a bubble on this platform, most regular people don't know who she is. Facts. But when it comes to posts that are flat out racist, hateful, and make President Trump look bad, she needs to be responsible and delete them. So this was last September, going on almost a year ago, although them two have been kind of back and forth since then. So it's been a running cat fight. It's been a running cat fight here all this time. So it's one of those things. I mean, it goes. Well, of course, as you all know, Laura's not going to let that go, and she did respond to it. But man, I'd like to tell you that folks decided to stay civil. It didn't stay civil very long. It couldn't keep civil very long. It wasn't going to be able to do that because things got ugly. As of this week, there was a guy who was given the Medal of Honor, and Laura Loomer didn't like it. She said some nasty things, and she didn't like it. Doesn't matter who the guy is, because all that matters is what happens next. Marjorie Taylor Greene enters the chat and says, of course, what a coward. I looked her up after I heard she attacked Medal of Honor recipient Florent Groberg, who risked his own life to heroically save his military brothers from a suicide bomber. What was hero Florent Groberg's Loomer crime? Nothing. He spoke at the Democrat convention. But Laura Loomer has zero respect or reverence for even the most heroic people in America. Ask any veteran, military member, and American. No one cares about his politics. The man was willing to die to save others from a suicide bomber. Shut up, Laura. We've come a long way from you can't silence her voice. Twitter may have banned Laura, but you can't silence her voice. Marjorie, I bet you wish you could have that one back. She goes on to say, but there's more. Oh, there is. Can you tell me? Tell me more. She is using a Medal of Honor recipient as a pawn to attack Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll because they honored him. Laura Loomer will lie and slander the best people in order to rip apart other Republicans she's trying to destroy. She routinely lies about me, because it's all about you. She constantly lied about Matt Gaetz. We're on him again. She lies about those of us who are hardcore and unapologetically America first. As a matter of fact, 95% of her slanderous attacks are against Republicans. Why does she do that? Because she is not MAGA. She is MEGA, make Israel great again. Many people are asking who or what government or what intelligence agency has bankrolled the twice failed congressional candidate, Laura Loomer, all these years. Because she has never had a real job. Damn! Okay. She is not legally allowed to own a gun. What? Damn! And she spends 100% of her time trying to funnel her lies and manipulated propaganda to the President of the United States. Many people need to wake up about her reporting. Researching facts and then spinning them into lies to serve her agenda doesn't make her good or trustworthy. It makes her a liar, and it makes her dangerous. So she posted this screen capture showing that Laura Loomer had blocked her. Of course, Laura Loomer was not going to let this sit. Not at all. So Laura comes right back and she writes the Gettysburg Address. As you can see, I am not going to read all this. TLDR. I'm not going to read all of this, people. I'm just not. I'm only going to read some select parts of it. I'm not going to read this book she wrote. But as you can see, Laura was triggered to the highest level of trigonometry. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you attacked me. No comma. Planted a story about me in the New York Times when Trump wanted to hire me in 2023. You made up lies because you couldn't stand the idea of another woman in the GOP having success. The next time that somebody tells you all, by the way, that if men would just go away and women ran the world, that things would be peaceful.
Nigga, please.
Yeah, the next time somebody tells you that if men were gone, let the women run things because things would be peaceful, finally. Okay, fortunately, we can go ahead and put this lie to bed. I just wanted to say that right quick. Speaking of lies, now she says this a bunch of times, people. This is an old sawbone that Laura loves bringing up. This is just an old cliche she loves bringing up. Speaking of lies, you ruined your entire family by cheating on your husband with a sex guru.
Damn!
And for the last 4 months, you've been doing nothing but spewing lies about the Trump administration because you don't get enough attention from the Trump administration. So, folks, if you thought it wasn't going to be slugging below the belt, that was all it was going to be. Just right out the gate. That is all it's going to be, is slugging below the belt. Not hitting, slugging. I've had you blocked since 2023 when you called the Trump campaign and smeared me with lies. Because as a member of Congress, you engage in torturous interference and use your position to interfere in other people's employment. So she's upset. Laura thought she was going to get a ticket to the White House. Ain't that right, Roland Martin? It didn't come through. You've gained enemies for life, people. You've gained enemies for life. So they go through the usual stuff here. You're a compulsive liar and so on and so forth. I created my own media company. Can't tell. You know, the same ex-husband who divorced you because you couldn't stop bending for multiple men to what? Damn!
Auntie, chill.
Yeah, folks, this is the woman in the White House with Trump, and this is MAGA and front line, people. Front line. Oh, the same ex-husband who divorced you because you couldn't stop giving favors to multiple men to link up with you inside those CrossFit gyms where you had all your many affairs. Alrighty, let's hear it for reputation destruction. I mean, folks, I would say the gloves are off, but as far as I can tell, they were never on. Far as I can tell. I don't insider trade. Okay. I work for everything I have. You work for that. I don't get to take my accomplishments. You don't get to take my accomplishments away from me. Okay. Because you are crashing out over leaving the GOP. White supremacists love using our vernacular, by the way. You want to know where the culture is? Yeah, that's our culture. You're using our vernacular. Yeah, thank you very much. You are okay with people who counter-signal Trump, though, because you do that every single day, which is why you now have to pander to neo-Nazis who go around accusing Trump of being controlled by a foreign government for relevancy. Okay, because Laura Loomer is a neo-Nazi. I mean, she's a white supremacist through and through. Oh, but she's Jewish. So what she means is, the folks who may not be approving of Israel. So that's her her little sawbone there. So, yeah, because, I mean, she is a full-blown white supremacist. I'm like, Laura, you love neo-Nazis. I mean, you love Nazis. Oh, you mean as long as the Nazis are your Nazis. Oh, okay. All right. All right. She said, you lied and said that Trump would get us into World War III, and you lied and said he isn't America first. Just admit the White House is sick of your white trash hick charade.
What? Damn! Alrighty then.
Folks, I mean, next time somebody tries to tell you about us and the language we use, do you want to know what happens over there? Yeah, when they drop the polite tones and bring it in the open, you want to know what happens over there? Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. So yeah, buddy, just in case you thought that was going to be a nice thing. Just in case you thought that was not going to be a nice thing. So, I am filing an ethics complaint against you for falsely accusing me of being funded by an intelligence agency. Okay, go ahead and file your paperwork is what they're saying here. File your paperwork is what they're saying here. This is an abuse of power. You call yourself a Christian while you wreck your marriage like a whore and lie out of bloated horse face, which is permanent damage from your years of alleged steroid use. I'm just like, Laura, you might want to ease back from that, Laura, about horse faces. You might want to fall back from that one, Laura. Yeah, Laura, you might want to leave the horse face thing alone. I mean, it's a great zinger. It really is, but you might want to just leave the horse face thing alone, Lawrence. Donkeys shouldn't insult horses. Just not being mean. Donkeys shouldn't insult horses. I'm just being nice here. I'm just being nice here. Okay. Now I'm going to show you this right here because this is her saying, here's the evidence that she cheated on her husband. It said that excessive steroid use in women makes women develop a form of increased sex drive. Marjorie Taylor Greene claims to be a Christian, but she cheats and lies to get what she wants. She wears a cross around her neck as she cheats on her husband. She gave... What? She gave... Oh, man. Laura Loomer claiming she knows things. All right. All righty then. She gave special attention in the back rooms of CrossFit gyms while wearing her wedding ring and her cross. You wouldn't want to lose them. Pretending to be a Christian. Most Christians get on their knees for Jesus. Marjorie Taylor Greene gets on her knees for any man who isn't her husband. What? Damn! 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 Yes, sir, folks. I would say it's getting ugly over there, but it's already beyond ugly. It's already beyond ugly, people. It's not getting ugly. It's already beyond it. We passed ugly way back there at exit 3. We passed ugly at exit 3. You want to know what the Desperate Housewives do when we ain't around? if y'all want to know what's really happening at these places while they're claiming that they're so much better and more sanctified and, oh, everything is all nice, and you want to know what really happens in Mayberry, in between the children getting molested and whatever else, this is what's really happening in Mayberry. Now, this next part here, if you have any minors or children around for the next 10, 15 minutes, you might want to go sit them in front of a non-Jeffrey Epstein episode of Sesame Street, because I got to go a little bit further. Because remember this post and this picture right here, because it actually means something. This picture right here that you see, you're about to see it again here in a moment. Little bit of backstory. Laura Loomer is currently suing Bill Maher and HBO. She doesn't like the fact that Bill Maher made a joke about her. He made a joke that, basically a joke about Laura Loomer and Trump might be sleeping together since she's getting such preferential treatment. And she didn't like that. So she literally is suing Bill Maher and HBO for defamation. It has 0% chance whatsoever of succeeding, but that's what she's doing. Well, you know what happens? There are going to be depositions. And what I'm going to do for you all here is I'm going to go ahead and get into that. But before I do, I would like to show you Exhibit A. Because remember that thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying before back in 2024 about, oh, you all are being, that Laura Loomer was being racist and this, that, and the other. Remember that? Well, that became part of the Bill Maher case because there was another thing that Laura Loomer had posted. And that's what's on your screen right now. I warned you to get the kids out of here. That's what's on the screen right now. She said, hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, this is back in 2024 now. Remember when you destroyed your family so you could have sex with a Zangief cosplayer? Tell me again how you and the Arby's in your pants are representatives of the GOP. You couldn't even run your own family. Don't tell me how to run free speech.
Damn!
Now, I'm going to say this as gingerly as I can. This sentence about, and I had to read it like that because otherwise I can't talk about anything else. This is where we are. These people take you to the trash dumpster of life. Basically, that phrase, for those of you who are like, Arby's, what in the hell does that mean? In reference, it's a vulgar expression of what your anatomy looks like. It's basically a vulgar way of saying that the woman's, her feminine anatomy resembles. Yeah. So when you hear that phrase, that's what they're saying. So that's what Laura Loomer said about Marjorie Taylor Greene. People, you have seen a lot of issues among black politicians. You ain't never seen this. You've seen black politicians have a lot of issues. You have never seen it get to this level right here. Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma weren't talking like this. This is worse than any female rap beef you ever heard. Beef, pardon the expression. I ain't never heard nothing like this. They're downright sanitized compared to some of this other stuff that's going on in your political circles here. So, oh, my fragile little ears. All right, well, I brought this up because this is actually relevant to the Laura Loomer, Bill Maher lawsuit. Because during the lawsuit, HBO's lawyers brought this up. And I want you to hear that white supremacists are, of course, cowards and liars. So Laura Loomer said this. And this is what happened. This is from the transcript of the deposition, I believe here. From the transcript of the deposition. I'm going to go back a little bit further because your other YouTubers do not do this part right here. I'm going back a little bit further. It says here, question, Ms. Loomer, can I ask you to look at the next exhibit? Answer, yeah, but I'm not interested in your speech. Putting it in context, so, okay. Exhibit 30. She was upset, she was jealous. Question, Exhibit 30 is your response to her. Can you read that out loud? Answer, hey, Marjorie, remember when you destroyed your family so you can have sex with a Zangief cosplayer? Tell me again how you and the Arby's in your pants, yeah, that was widely reported. I mean, that's why she got divorced. And that divorce records, no, read the tweet. The attorneys are stopping her and saying, no, read the tweet. Answer, our representatives of the GOP, you couldn't even run your own family. Don't tell me how to run my free speech. Question, okay, so when you answer, but you're not showing the screenshot. It's like intentionally blurred out. I don't know why you blurred it out, but it showed a document where somebody who she had an affair with showed text messages of her having an affair.
What?
And it was well documented. It was in the text messages, and it's the reason why she ended up getting divorced from her husband, Perry, who I know because when at the time during my campaign, they were married and they came to my event, and it's well known. And she's even admitted to it that they got divorced because of her marital infidelity. So, question, right. Can you explain to me what it means? This is HBO's lawyers telling her, yeah, we get that. Can you explain to us what that means? Answer, but I don't understand why you blurred it out. It's blurred out. Question, can you explain? Mr. Clayman, objection, relevancy. Question, can you explain to me what it means to say to her that Arby's in your pants? The attorneys are getting their dead to rights to say, we want to know, what do you mean when you say Arby's in your pants? Answer, well, Arby's, Mr. Clayman, objection, relevancy, so that's her lawyers. Question, answer the question as HBO's lawyers and her. Arby's, Laura Loomer said, Arby's sells roast beef. Question, right. Can you tell me why were you talking about the Arby's, quote, the Arby's in her pants? Answer, well, it's just an expression. Question, what is the expression trying to convey? Answer, it conveys the reason why she got a divorce by her own admission. Answer, question, because she had roast beef in her pants? Answer, yeah. Question, she put roast beef in her pants. That's what you're trying to say here? You're literally saying that she put Arby's in her pants? Literally trying to say that? Answer, I'm saying she literally, it's so ridiculous. I'm saying she literally put Arby's in her pants. Yes. Yes. She literally put Arby's in her pants. Folks, you're looking at the deposition on your screens here. You're looking at the depositions on your screens here. This is literally what she said when she was asked about that. Literally. Not kidding. I wanted to make sure everybody could see this. Mr. Clayman objects again. Question: you're not making a slur about her? Answer: no. This is Laura Loomer claiming it's not a slur. Question: you're literally saying that she puts an Arby's sandwich in her pants? Is that right? Folks, you all, this is the original tweet right here. This is the original tweet. This is the original tweet right here. You see that. And this is what's going on with it. Now, does that tell you, does this look like she means literally? So she's too cowardly to stand by her own statements. You're literally saying that she puts an Arby's sandwich in her pants. Is that right? Answer: yes, that's correct. That's correct. Question: why are you laughing? So she's sitting there saying that's correct and laughing. She's sitting there saying that it's correct, but she's laughing. Answer: because I just think it's so funny. Question: what is your basis for saying she put Arby's in her pants? Answer: I just think it's so funny. I just think it's so funny. What is your basis for saying she put Arby's in her pants? Answer: she carries roast beef in her pockets. Question: what is your basis for saying she puts roast beef in her pockets and in her pants? Because I know she likes roast beef. So what, question, so what is your basis for saying she had Arby's in her pants? Answer: because I know she likes to eat at Arby's. Question: and she likes to put it in her pants? You know that? Answer: yeah. Question: she puts Arby's in her pants? Answer: yeah, she does. Question: okay, if I ask Marjorie Taylor Greene, she would tell me that she puts Arby's in her pants? Answer: it's my best belief that she would tell you that. Yes. Question: are you making a derogatory comment about her sex life by talking about Arby's in her pants? Now, you all see the original tweet. You see the context of it. Sandwiched in between her personal infidelities, you see the context of it. And she's telling you, when he asked, is this a derogatory comment about her personal life? About her sex life? No! I'm talking about Arby's, the sandwiches. I'm talking about Arby's. I'm a very direct person. If I was making a derogatory comment, I would have said it. I just think it's so funny because I feel like you would understand it if you actually hadn't blurred the photo, but it's blurred. We didn't blur the photo. So, folks, that was Laura Loomer when she was under oath and asked about this tweet you see on your screen right here, talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. That was her response to that tweet. When she was under oath, she told the attorneys that she was talking about an Arby's sandwich. And this is where we are today. You can't even talk about politics with the children because it's going to take you down a rather dismal, dark rabbit hole. It's going to take you down a rather dismal, dark rabbit hole. It really, really will. These people fought for so hard and so long to get into this. They fought so hard and so long to get into this. They were determined to get here. They wanted everybody to back their play. They were so determined to get here. And this is what you ultimately end up with. This is what you ultimately end up with. Back in 2024, you're both equally racist. I'm here to watch you destroy one another anyway. Which is how that really goes. That's the way that it really goes when you do that. It really, really is. And they posted up their stuff here, and then people are doing dumb things, and they're trying to cover up for it because they can't really stand by their words. It doesn't go very well. And this is what happens here, in all honesty. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got to hold this too. You got to hold this too, Marjorie, because Laura Loomer was always like this. Laura Loomer was always this way. She didn't become this way yesterday. Laura Loomer was always a vicious, backbiting gutter snipe. This ain't new. And you fed her and nurtured her and attempted to legitimize her. Now that you have fed her and comforted her and fattened her up and attempted to legitimize her, now that she's turned her fangs on you, now you want people to delegitimize her? You're the one who told people that we could never silence her voice, 2024. Now you're saying, shut up, Laura, in 2025. You fed this monster. You fed her. You fattened her up. You made sure it was big and strong. That's what you did. Now you want everybody to come running to your defense, running to your attention. Now you want them to listen to you. Sound familiar? You know, like Candace Owens. Now she wants everyone to delegitimize Nick Fuentes after her vicious attempt to re-legitimize him. That went bad. Now she wants, okay, everybody, he's not valid again. It doesn't go that way. It doesn't go that way. Once you all open these doors to let these vipers in, figuring that you found the perfect throwaway people, that you found the perfect little foot soldiers and the perfect little cannon fodder to sling at us, understand, once they're in, they're in. And you gonna be wrangling with these rattlesnakes for the remainder of your days. You'll be wrangling with these rattlesnakes for the remainder of your days. That's what you did there. Now, they thought that they were empowering these people to sit up here and go after us. They thought they were empowering them to do that. They thought that's what was going to happen. And sure enough, when they opened that up, these folk here thought that that was going to be a minor issue. And that's not what occurred. That's not what occurred at all. Now, ordinarily, we would try to stop them from something. We're not going to do that. I wanted to take this as an opportunity to show you all here that it's happening all at the same time. It's happening all at the same time. It's happening at the same time because the house is collapsing. What happens when the worst people in the world are now given power? That is the answer to the question that you're currently witnessing. What happens to the worst people in the world when they're given power? Well, this is what happens. This is what happens. They're not the best and brightest. They're not, damn sure not the most honorable. They were mean, evil, vicious individuals. The only thing they've ever been able to get by is on their privilege. What happens when that doesn't occur? What happens when that doesn't occur? Well, this is what happens. And ultimately, it ends up here. Ultimately, it ends up here. Laura Loomer said, I don't think the GOP is going to survive post-Trump. There's too many, all right, grammar, too many conflicting personalities trying to jockey for the mantle to MAGA, you think? And none of them have what it takes to be Trump's successor. We are witnessing the end of a future post-MAGA movement as we know it because everyone inside the big tent the GOP forced on us realizes that they hate each other. Actually, the problem is you hate everyone, including yourselves. The problem isn't that you just hate each other. You hate everyone, including yourselves. Your power is built on lying and stealing means you got to make sure somebody else can't take it back from you. So once you've stolen it, you have to exclude people and kick them out. So it's not just enough to steal it. Now you got to steal it, and then you got to start pushing people out so they can't take back what you've stolen. There won't be a viable political movement post-MAGA. You can see the writing on the wall. Nobody has what it takes. To which the first commenter here said, the irony is MAGA was built to be a cult of one, not a sustainable political movement. Without Trump, the glue that holds the grievance coalition together melts away, leaving only egos, grudges, and power grabs. Well said. Well said. And that's exactly what it is. The big tent was never about unity. It was about proximity to Trump. And when the center collapses, all that's left is chaos. And that's it. MAGA was made as a vehicle so that the reality show TV star Donald Trump, masquerading as a real estate magnate, could have a platform for himself, not a platform for anybody else. And if you want his crown, you're going to have to run up and take it. You will not be able to ask for it. You will have to run up and you will have to seize it. And that's just like he seized power from the Republican establishment. If you want the power back, you're going to have to go up and seize it for yourself. But you're going to have to be more reputable and more legitimate. And that's where things fail. But the gentleman here is absolutely correct. You have a coalition of white supremacists with their privilege, ego, grudges, and power trips. And without Trump to be the force that dominates all of them, like Ieyasu Tokugawa, when he set up the Tokugawa shogunate in Japan, without him sitting there to be the dictator who keeps all the rest of the little warlords in line, without him, they all break down into a warring states period. And that is what is occurring now because Trump doesn't even have the discipline to tell all of them to stop fighting with each other. You see, what's supposed to happen is that Trump's supposed to send the word down. Trump is supposed to send the word down to all of these minions and all of these flunkies and tell them to shut up and quiet it down. You bad for the brand. Trump is supposed to do that, but Trump is too weak to do that. You see, everybody there is waiting for an opportunity to take him down, so he can't really put the hammer down like he needs to. Besides, remember, he's already tried. He's having hell out of Kentucky right now. Rand Paul and Congressman Massey, Thomas Massey, he's talking about, oh, we need to primary them and this, that, and the other. Ain't nobody listening to that? He's openly said that about them. The congressman down there in Texas, Chip Roy, said the same thing about them, man. They shaking that off. It's not the kiss of death that it once was. It's not the threat that it once was. So he's weak. And so he isn't even able to get his online influencers back in line. He's weak. Under Barack Obama, you toed the line or you were out. Under Barack Obama, you toed the line or you were done. Under Bill Clinton, you toed the line or you were done. Under even George W. Bush, you toed the line or you were done. Under Nancy Pelosi, you toed the line or you were Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you're on the outside looking in. That was the reason why they put down sedition. With reckless abandon, they made sure you understood if you weren't in line, you got squished like a bug. Not gonna have it. The money gonna dry up. The influence gonna dry up. The access gonna get shut out the very first day. You're out. Just like Kevin Spacey said in House of Cards, there is no right, there is no wrong. There's only being in and then being out. That's all there is. And everybody's supposed to be fighting tooth and nail to sit up here and be in. And they're failing. Because the leader is failing. His generals are shooting at each other. His troops are shooting at each other. They were supposed to be building the Fourth Reich. They were supposed to be building the MAGA empire that would stand for 1,000 years. That's what they were supposed to be doing. They didn't even make it through damn me year one. They spent all these years waiting to finally get back here, didn't make it through damn me year one. Lack of vision, lack of leadership, lack of discipline. But most importantly of all, a lack of will. These folks don't want to be here. The only thing these jackasses could really agree on was that they were white supremacists and they didn't like the non-white people. But then once they got in power, we beat the non-white people. Yes, but you're still trash and you're no better. Now they just hammer at each other. When they're supposed to be focused on the mission. They're supposed to be focused on the mission and the campaign. But the mission is self-aggrandizement. Donald Trump is a feckless attention whore, and all he's really done is cultivate a culture of it, and now they're all just imitating him, even to the detriment of everyone else. So, in your empowering the Laura Loomers, all you really did was empower the dissidents in your own ranks. And by trying to re-legitimize the Nick Fuenteses, all you've really done is empower the dissidents and the insurrectionists in your own ranks. Nick Fuentes is far more concerned for going after Donald Trump and the establishment than he is any of us. And take a look at the people who've empowered him, the folks who are fighting to re-legitimize him, why they see him as a useful tool to destabilize the establishment. Donald Trump is no longer the outsider. He has now clearly been defined as the establishment. And now the Laura Loomers and the Nick Fuenteses are loose cannons attacking the establishment. And this is Laura Loomer letting you know she's soft introducing that, we need to look beyond Trump because it ain't good enough. Now, she's just an online blogger, so she doesn't have any power or influence except to say that Trump lets her into the White House every once in a while. But other than that, she's got nothing. So that's it. That's it. I predicted that Donald Trump would implode within the first calendar year. I predicted that MAGA would be at each other's throats as soon as the election was done. I had mentioned that before. I've reminded you all before that that's what was going to occur. And now, here we are. Nobody's got the power to put this thing back on its tracks again, so they only have the power now to destroy it. And if they can't have their way, then damn it, ain't nobody gonna have their way. If they can't have their way, then damn it, nobody's gonna have their way. If they don't get to run it, they gonna wreck it. If they don't get to run it, then damn it, they gonna wreck it. And that's what they're currently doing. To which I say, need a sledgehammer?
Damn!
Need some sledgehammers, need a bulldozer, need a wrecking ball. We got whatever you need. Yes, sir. We're selling sledgehammers, pickaxes, wrecking balls, bulldozers, backhoes, well, whatever you, jackhammers. We got what you need. Matter of fact, we have a full line of them over here. Very impressive display. Whatever you all need, we got it. Chains, baseball bats with spikes on them, medieval maces, nunchucks. Whatever y'all need, we got it. Now I want to go even further here, people, to present to you the 720 degrees of analysis you receive absolutely nowhere else. When I did my previous documentary, Race War, I had warned you all that the real threat that was forming was not so much the rise of white supremacists. You always had that. It was about the age of them. The age of this new white supremacist movement. That was the thing I had a spotlight on. The Richard Spencers and the Jason Kesslers, at the time, they were all under the age of 40. And the current white supremacist bosses and whatnot, they're looking beyond the Rush Limbaugh era. They want to know who the next generation is that they can hand the reins to for the next 30, 40 years. That was the factor I was looking at then, because those would be the things that would last. Well, we saw how that crumbled and collapsed on itself. You want to know what the dangerous aspect of this is? The dangerous aspect of this is that Donald Trump, who is currently Lord of the Huns, up until now, he's been able to keep his little fiefdoms and chieftains in line to a certain degree. But that is crumbling before your eyes. And what I'm telling you is that this running gun battle, this running knife fight between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer, this is just one of many. Why do you think that Nikki Haley is holding back in the backfield and gotten so quiet since the election was over? You think it's because she's happy, or do you think it's because she thought she needed to graciously bow out so that she can have time to reemerge for 2028. I told you about this before. Ron DeSantis has been on a tear in Florida, trying to keep himself as high profile as he can be. He obviously thinks he's going to make another run in 2028. A number of them are trying to do that, not because they like what's going on, but because they don't like what's going on. But they are going to be angry, they are going to be upset, and they are going to have grudges that they're going to be carrying all the way through this. And when Trump gets out of the way, there's going to be time to kick back in the grudges again. And they're going to be right back at each other. These are not temporary skirmishes that will go away. People, you ain't going to be able to overlook this. This heifer got on Twitter talking about you got damn me salami in your trousers. What? And you ruined your family so you could have sex with the genie in the bottle over here. And she just started going at you. She said, damn the nonsense, heifer, we fighting for real. She's sitting up here writing a whole damn book. She said, we fighting for real. Here's the sex guy and the gym manager. She's like, look here, girl, you been run through. We fighting for real. We going at it for real. Damn the nonsense. We going at it. Damn all that. Man, you think you gonna patch that up? Folks, do you think a sincere apology is gonna patch that up? Not unless your kid needs a kidney or something. What? You think a sincere apology is gonna make that okay? You've made enemies for life. You made enemies for life here. She brought your family into it, your ex-husband. Oh, I forgot about this. By the way, after the deposition was over, let me see if I can find that right quick, as a matter of fact, because it didn't stop there. What? Actually, it didn't stop there. I just want to find this real quick if I can. If I can find it real quick, that'd be great. If I can't, that's okay too. But after the deposition was over, just in case you thought, okay, well, the worst is over here and everybody can get back to their usual nonsense again, and we're just gonna go ahead and let bygones be bygones or whatever. No, it wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't like that. I want to try to show you if I can. If I can show you, that'd be best. If I can't, then that'll be all right, I guess. Okay. All right. I don't see it. Here. I went looking for it and I don't see it. But you all can go pull it up for yourselves. After the deposition was done, after the deposition was over, Laura Loomer went back on Twitter, I think it was, and she had tagged Marjorie Taylor Greene's new dude and said, I heard do you like to eat Arby's?
Damn!
Yeah, y'all can look it up for yourselves. When the deposition was over, she went back to Twitter and said, tagged Marjorie Taylor Greene's dude and said, do you like to eat Arby's? So I'm just saying, it's all the way on. It ain't coming and going. It's all the way on. Dude, it ain't on. It's up. It's up. She said, damn peace. She said, damn peace. Forget about it. We into it. We staying into it. She's like, 50 Cent ain't got nothing on me. 50 Cent ain't gonna have a damn thing on me when I get done with your ass. You think you're gonna be able to walk this backwards by 2028? You think by 2028 you're gonna be able to walk this backwards? You think Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes are gonna patch this up before the next election cycle? You think that Tucker Carlson and Mark Levin are going to be bosom buddies by the next election cycle? You think Ron DeSantis is going to be cool with the dudes at the White House by the next election? You think that's going to happen? Please. The beef is on. The beef is on and it's going to stay on. And everybody's going to blame everybody else, but the beef is on. Everybody can get it and everybody's getting it. That's why I'm saying this is bad. And this is why Laura, she's part of the problem and she knows it. This is Laura understanding that you don't win. You can't win under these circumstances. You can't have a powerful movement under these circumstances. And she is as much a part of the sickness as everybody else. Because all the white supremacists, when they finally got together, they couldn't get along with each other. Which is what I told you all was going to be the issue to begin with. They're not arguing over should there be white supremacy, but they're fighting over who should have the right to determine or dictate what it is. And now they're at each other, hammer and tong, and ain't no coming back, ain't no making nice, ain't no apologizing, ain't no let's patch it up, ain't no we cool. It's all the way on, and it's gonna stay on from the cradle to the grave. These are lifelong grudges that you are watching solidify and materialize and crystallize in front of your eyes. He got bars. These are lifelong grudges. Nick Fuentes did not come back attempting to be a power broker. He came back being a troll. What? Jason, you're not worried about him. Never been worried about him. I already met these folks before. They want to be seen on social media. They're concerned about their image and visibility and clout chasing, but they're not interested in power. They just want to be the most successful troll that you could find. They want attention. They want likes. They want to be celebrities. They don't actually want to be power brokers of anything. Not really. So when Nick Fuentes finally resurfaced, he didn't resurface to be a power broker. He resurfaced to be a troll. Well, a troll is very good for antagonizing people and attacking people, but nobody follows a troll. Laura Loomer, all she wants to be is a troll. Can't follow that either. Now the politicians who empowered these white supremacist trolls never envisioned the day that the trolls would turn their fangs on them. Now the trolls have turned their fangs on them, and it's too late. And it's too late. And of course, it won't work. It's only going to be a matter of time before they fade back into obscurity again because, folks heard that before. You don't have a plan. You don't have a platform. You don't have any influence. You're not going to make anything happen. Talking to the disaffected is not enough. You have to have a game plan and some funding and some influence. You have none of the above, and that's going to be what it's going to be. But in the meantime, I don't hand you all wishful thinking. I show you all my detailed analysis of the players on the field, of the events as they unfold, of the institutions as they're moving, And then I tell you all what's going to happen next. And I keep reminding you, did I call it or did I call it?
And deal with it.
You can hate me saying it if you want to, but just a gentle reminder. By the way, did I call it or did I call it? Jason, Roland Martin, and the rest of the bowling balls from the old dead black media are telling you that you've handed the country over to Trump. That's right, stoke the flames, feed the fire, let it go higher, because I fear neither the Democrat nor the Republican. You are both adherents of an evil, wicked religion. And I know this religion because we've seen it throughout the millennia. And your religion is based on hate, period. You have nothing else to hold you together. You don't even like each other. This is for your own personal aggrandizement and egos, and you see how you can utilize and leverage hate for your own personal benefit. But when there are enough of you fighting for your own individual benefits, eventually the overall umbrella of white supremacy, usually movements die when they fail. White supremacy is a movement that will die when it succeeds. Most other movements die because they fail to ever achieve their goal. But white supremacy is an organism that dies when it succeeds at its goal. Because the only thing that is a catalyst for them is hate. Everybody unites around their fear, a primal hate of things. We can all agree, hate that over there, and then we'll all work together. Yes, but when your target is gone, what will hold you all together then? Because the only thing you all agree on is that at the core of your beings, you hate. Well, if there's nobody else, now the eyes start turning towards each other. You start taking a look at each other. You start making little petty remarks and petty attacks on each other. You start digging up each other's dirt with the exact same venom and viciousness and violence that you did with the non-white people. Next thing you know, here we go again. Because you have to rally the troops, but you've given the troops no worthwhile vision to rally around. So you have to, since you have no vision for them to rally around, you can only give them an enemy to rally around. And when the former enemies have been vanquished, well, there's nobody else except yourselves. And as you can see, they get right to it. They get right to it. MAGA is dead. MAGA is finished. At this point right now, it's just going to be watching the dead patient as he goes into convulsions and death throes. That's all it's going to be. It's like watching a snake after you chop his head off and you see it wiggling around. He's not wiggling around because he's alive. He's wiggling around because the last of the nerves are firing off. MAGA's dead. And at this point now, the patient will simply go into death throes and convulsions. But what he's not gonna do is hop his ass up off of that gurney and start walking around again. He ain't running the damn thing. It's over. Time of death, 2025, January 20th. Time of death. But then again, that's a slightly misleading statement, because for me to say that it died in 2025 would be leading to you believe it was ever alive in the first place. I suppose about as live as an animated corpse can possibly be. There wasn't anything on the inside to begin with. There wasn't anything on the inside to begin with. Just a bunch of scared little ethno-nationalists who thought that that was an agenda. That's all. Just a bunch of ethno-nationalists who thought that that was an agenda. Just say that. Just say that. And they thought that they were going to be able to convert it into something else, and it didn't work because it couldn't work. They thought they were going to convert it into something else, and it didn't work. They were hoping they could lead it somewhere else. It didn't happen. It didn't happen because it couldn't. So you listen to other people who try to deliver the black vote, and they lie to you, they mislead you, they come up with other assorted garbage. Then you come here. We do not bend, we do not break. I stayed consistent and steadfast when Joe Biden won in 2020. I told you all, I'm not worried. Jason, are you worried? Absolutely not. I told you how that one was going to go. It went exactly the way I told you it was going to go. 2024, 2025, exact same thing again. However, you might disagree. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and open the link to the Zoom, and you will be more than welcome to give us a call up, especially if you disagree with tonight. If you think everything is just fine over there in MAGA land, 'tis only a flesh wound. If you think that everything's fine and this other stuff is background noise, but everything's going great, everything's going great and wonderful, you can certainly weigh in on that. By the way, it is not lost on me. It is not lost on me at all. Of course, Trump would love anything here to sit up here and say that let's turn the subject to anything but Jeffrey Epstein. Trump would love it if we talked about anything other than that. He would love it if we did anything other than that. Of course, he wants us to talk about anything other than the Epstein files. Talk about anything, Marjorie, Greene, Laura, Loomer, anything but the Epstein files now. Y'all quit that. But that's not going to go away when all these other little issues subside, and they go away quickly because cat fights and gossip are interesting in the interim, but then it turns back to, okay, now what's the real business? When that occurs, yeah, it's back to it again. It is back to it again, and there'll be a number of people very, very worried about that, and they should be. In the meantime, I'd like to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who has contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out here, my man, Magus. Magus, thank you very much for your support tonight. We appreciate that. To Nancy King, Mega Goes, Gutter Girls, Ratchet. You better believe that. Thank you very much for your support here as well. We appreciate that. My man, Mr. Richburg, thank you very much, sir. DMB Nation, Sir Shy, and everybody else here who's contributed to tonight's program. We appreciate that. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. After that, we'll go ahead and open up the Zoom so we can go ahead and take your calls and more. MAGA has imploded and black empowerment has exploded. This is the Black Channel.
Did you know hip-hop is more than just music? It's a movement shaping the places we live, work, and grow. Rap Estate, hip-hop's influence on housing, community, and neighborhood development dives deep into how this powerful culture has become a force for change. From its roots in urban neighborhoods to its global impact, discover how artists like Public Enemy and Jay-Z use lyrical storytelling to spotlight issues like gentrification, economic justice, and affordable housing. This groundbreaking book uncovers the stories, struggles, and solutions inspired by hip-hop, turning beats and rhymes into blueprints for real change. Ready to see how hip-hop is rebuilding communities and empowering lives? Get your copy of Rap Estate today and join the movement.
Be the teacher, knowledge on the block. Got the kids learning, minds open like a lock. Books and skills from the east to the west. Bringing education, yeah, we're simply the best. Classes on fire, brains burning with desire. Innovation driving like a tire through the mire. Math, science, history, we got the whole range. Kids hitting new heights. heights, teachers making a change. Used to be the teacher, stacking up the grades. Future bright shining, no need for no shades. Got the youth thriving, moving up the ladder. Smart and sharp, brains growing fatter. Lessons so lit, yeah they stay in a blaze. Every mind sharp like a sword in the haze. Mr. B in the house breaking knowledge chains. Education kingpin, we repping the games. Used to be the teacher.
The Honey Badger and the Mongoose is a children's story for the family of how a honey badger and mongoose fight an evil alliance of venomous cobra snakes and hyenas that overhauls the balance of the savannah. The Big Five. The honey badger demands reparations. Will the Big Five give the honey badger reparations? Can the evil alliance of cobras and hyenas be stopped? The best new price for the hard and soft cover is at www.thehoneyBadgerandthemongoose.com. You can also find this book at Amazon, Audible, and Kindle.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slavery and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening, and the lines to the Zoom are now open. You are more than welcome to go ahead and weigh in and give us a call as we are discussing here tonight. Oh, that didn't take very long now, did it? Just last week, we were talking about the knockdown drag out between Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson, and showing you all those other things. By the way, last time I checked, Candace still hasn't taken down Ian Carroll from her page. Ian has been back going at her again. What? Oh, man. Folks, the lesson you're learning here is how stupid it is to think that you're gonna feed snakes and that they're gonna be your personal attack snakes. These will be your personal attack vipers, and they'll go after everybody else. The only thing snakes do is bite. The only thing snakes do is bite, and eventually they're gonna come back and bite you. And all you're going to do when you feed them and clothe them and house them and nurture them, all you're going to do in strengthening them is strengthen them to bite you. That's all you're going to do. And it becomes very, very entertaining in the meanwhile. Becomes very entertaining in the meanwhile, but other than that, it goes bad. It goes bad and it doesn't recover. However, I did feel it was necessary to show one more thing here. I did want to show one more thing here. I thought I'd be remiss if I didn't do so. One more thing here. Your favorite twirly girl Pearl, who a bunch of Negroes during the pandemic, there are a bunch of YouTubers and whatnot, I mean ass-kissing coons, sat up here and had their lips wrapped around her bony butt cheeks, figuring that she was going to be the next Kevin Samuels and boost all of them to prominence and whatnot. Never happened, never could have happened. And then to add injury, just to fast forward things to the only possible outcome, a little fella named Jason Black shows up and that was over. Well, Pearl has dropped the pretenses. It doesn't help that she's got all those photos with her black boyfriends out there. What? Wonder what Nick Fuentes would think of that. Well, old Pearl couldn't help but show this right here. Now, this is on her page, and she said they could never make me hate him. Oh, boy, Pearl wanted you to know. Well, I wonder what was it that Nick said that no one could ever convince you to hate him for? I wonder what it would be. She's real proud about it, so why don't we listen for ourselves?
I'm the realest nigga on the internet. That's in. What?
Oh, well, you heard that. Talk about your hot takes. You heard that one now, didn't you?
I'm the realest nigga on the internet. That's in the middle of my generational run. And it is not going to come to an end anytime soon over my dead body because a bunch of fucking autistic spurgs that weren't even born here are going to try and lie on my name. That's the last word on that.
Okay. Well, you know what, Jason? I mean, he didn't say it with a hard R or anything like that, so you're jumping to conclusion. He's a good guy. You're taking this out of context. He's making some points right there. You know, I mean, just really, not to be defensive about it. Your favorite rappers say that, so you're just blowing it out as a proportion. Okay, well, I'm very, very glad that you feel that way right there. Very fortunately for us, he's not going to go on and make it worse. Right?
That's the show. Who is the Fed? Will the real federal agent please stand up? Who is it? Who's the real federal agent? Elon, Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance Tucker, and George Farmer, the son of the head of the Alliance of Christians and Jews in the UK? Or the realest fucking nigga you know? Patrick Bet-David said, why do you say the N-word? It's to show people I'm real. Why do you roll out of bed at 3 a.m. and do a show? Why do you say you're going to have hate sex with Candace Owens? Why do you say nigger? It's to show you I'm the real nigga on the show. All these people that have been taking checks from Fox News.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a perfectly defensible explanation for that, for Pearly things, why she could never hate anyone like that. And the moral to this story is, you see, we got a real sickness out there among some of y'all are degenerates. Just say what it is. Some of y'all are degenerates. Mama was a dog, daddy was scum. And just basically you'll hop into bed with man, beast, parakeet, inanimate objects. And so when somebody like Pearl comes up and whatnot and offers you interracial sexual access, while your brain, if you had one, immediately switches off. Immediately switches off, and all of a sudden, is she gonna call me back? Is she gonna call me back? Mr. Ben Israel needs to give us a call on Zoom. Very glad to hear that, sir. Now you're going to give us a call up on Zoom so we can hear that from you. I would like to hear what was so funny that he said myself. Can't wait to get details. So yeah, Justin, for some of y'all who were ass kissing during the pandemic and anybody white who was sitting around you, you bowed and scraped to and whatnot. And I heard she had black boyfriends. Brother Nilly Fuller told you, you hopping into bed with them because you're desperate and you're an idiot. They are not confused. You hopping out the bed, stupid, dumb, and confused is when you went in. She's hopping out the bed and she's not confused. She isn't confused. There's a life lesson there. She's hopping out the bed and showing you after all those years and all those videos, and Jason Black was never on that train. Ever. I was never big up in it, ever. I was one of the first people who called it out and the first person on the internet that provided definitive, concrete evidence that completely destroyed the whole damn thing. The whole internet went into nuclear meltdown. Yeah, because all the ass kissers were hoping that she would make them a guest on her program and maybe they could get the damn YouTube numbers up so they don't care what devil they got to sell their soul to. And I was never on that. I was never on that. And now, here we go again. But I'm sure you're going to have a perfectly reasonable, perfectly logical explanation for this. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable, perfectly appeasing explanation for this that is not that big of an issue, right? You see, you got to understand when you got some of the dogs beside you. Sometimes you have some of the dogs beside you, and that's the issue that we have to deal with. We have to deal with the dogs. You see, there are certain individuals who anything they run up on, they'll put it in their mouths and swallow it. Trash, garbage, scum. Anything you throw in front of them, they start gobbling it up. So they are far more akin to a pig or a worm than they are to a person. So you see, when they get on the internet, the real thing starts to come out and it's just like, oh, hey, man, you're starting to show, hey, you're looking like a little pig over there, dude. They see white supremacists and they start laughing. They see white supremacist females and then they don't give a damn what she's saying. Remember, we met those guys before. We ran into them before, remember? Why, they would have no problem. She could be sitting there talking about nigger, nigger, nigger the whole time. He's like, well, as long as she let me lay up, she can call me whatever she want to. Those guys are not annoying. They're dangerous. The fellas, I'm talking about the dudes right now, the bedwenching hoes, we understand that, but I'm talking to the fellas right now. You're supposed to have more of an idea and an attitude of survival. And when you sit up here and your attitude is literally, well, I don't give a damn what she call me, as long as she let me have my turn with it, man. You're not annoying. You're dangerous. See, folks, I need y'all to understand something here. I need to make this very, very clear so you all understand this. Stop listening to some dumbass tell you that it doesn't matter how some folk act with other people. You watch how folk act. Don't let this damn internet with everybody sitting up here acting like they in the damn whorehouse. I mind my business. Your business is to make sure you're aware of what the hell's going on around you. If this person has been a viper and a snake and a lowlife, they don't take care of their children, they bedwenching and cooning all over the damn place, you seen them do it other places and they come up to you, your attitude is, well, they ain't coon with me. He ain't been a white supremacist with me. That's the definition of stupid. It's also the definition of off code. He done set up here and done did it. He's a con artist and set up here and stole from everybody else. Well, he ain't stole from me. You all have never seen me back that nonsense. He ain't stole from me. Hey, bruh, your name dirty in the streets. We don't fool with you over here. Other folks out there, I don't give a damn who it is you listening to. They don't have that kind of fortitude and backbone. That's why I don't fool with them. I'm the first one to tell you, hey, bruh, what's your damn track record, nigga? Folks think that your name dirty in the damn streets. You cheating people, you lying to folks, you ass kissing, you cooning, you bedwenching, you sucking up. Hell no, I'm not gonna give you a chance to come on over here. You got your rep you do for a reason. Some of y'all sit up here and listen to YouTubers and slut tubers and ghetto tubers sitting up here telling you about that nonsense. Hell no. Paperwork check, nigga. Paperwork check. Your paperwork is dirty as hell. Hey, bro, you was kissing Candace Owens' ass. Oh, no, you suspect, dude. You ain't solid. Pearly things you saw with Jason Black exposed on that, and you sitting up here laughing. Hey, bro, you ain't solid. You ain't solid, dude. That's obvious. You ain't solid. We're not supposed to have folk who are obviously not solid. We're supposed to be filtering them out. You're sitting up here talking about having a cohesive on-code movement, and yet the trash and the filth and live-in traitors sitting right next damn me to you. That is a formula for a movement that cannot move. So yes, we have to be very discriminating in that regard. Folks who are solid should be thrilled to show they work. When it's time to do the paperwork check, folk who are solid are supposed to be thrilled to show that. Because they understand that that's the key to survival, is making sure that everyone is legitimate and genuine. But when I look up and you giggling about white supremacy, as far as I'm concerned, you're on their side. So I'm very glad that you can find that to be amusing, because I need the traitors and the turncoats to be obvious. I don't want you sneaking around. I want you to be up front. I want you to be on the record, big up in Nick Fuentes and Pearly Things and Candace Owens and Laura Loomer. I want you on the record. See, back in the old days, you used to be able to do that kind of smarmy, slimy stuff and then hide your hand. Now, in the internet age, you're on the record. Now everybody can see you for exactly what it is, and you're on the record. Now, that's what we need right there, but it does us no good to have folks on the record if we are not going to hold their records against them. It does us no good to have people on the record if we are not going to hold their records against them. That does us no good. So once folk have shown the record and the paperwork's dirty, we're supposed to move on to the next step. We don't ask if it's dirty because we're curious. Once we find out it's dirty, it's like, yeah, bro, you can't be here. Your paperwork is all kinds of wrong. You can't be here. Nipsey Hussle told you that. You got to get that cleaned up. You can't be here. We're talking about life and death. Do you understand that for a gutless gutter coon, you understand they don't care about their own survival, man? They don't. They do not care about their own survival. They are two-legged dogs. That's what they are. And the white supremacists depend on two-legged dogs. You're useful to them. You're useful because you have no scruples, you have no standards. You're useful to them. They can use a pig. They can use a worm like you. You'll do whatever they say, and that's the reason why you're on their side. You're on their side. So when we start talking what we talk and saying what we're saying, all of a sudden, watch out for the folks who sit up here and try to make white supremacy a joke. See, we've been telling you all about that going on for decades now, that folks try to reduce white supremacy to a joke like there's something funny about it. So when they bring it to you and stuff, they're always bringing it to you as if, oh, they so crazy. That's not no damn joke. What the hell is funny about some white supremacist talk over here? Nigga, you think that's funny? They're sitting up here talking about us as subhumans and you think that's funny? They disrespecting us and you think that's funny? See, this is how you clean up the block, people. You clean up the block by jumping on the folks on your side and making it clear that they're off code, and that's going to get dealt with. That's how you clean that up. Zero tolerance. That's how you clean that up, is zero tolerance. Y'all got jackasses tonight talking about having hate sex with Candace Owens. Nigga, you talking like Nick Fuentes. I don't got no use for no part of Candace Owens.
And deal with it, nigga.
I got no use for no parts of Candace Owens. Candace Owens ain't the Arby's. Candace Owens is the Chitlins. I ain't got no use for no parts of her. There's nothing she got that I want, desire, much less need. Ain't nothing she got that I'm interested in. She don't have anything to sit at the table with me and bargain with. And she doesn't have anything to get me to lower my guard or break my defenses for, baby. You ain't got nothing to bargain with. You don't have anything. Now, to the bottom feeding, coon, back alleys, backstabbing niggas, she got something to bargain with for him. But then again, buddy, he was useless to us the whole damn time. Anybody talking about what they would do with Candace Owens sexually, dude, you're useless to us right now. She doesn't have anything to offer. Nothing at all. I can't joke about that. See, there ain't nothing about a coon that I find funny. You got to have a prison mindset about this. You got to have a prison mindset about this. You see, in the joint, you don't laugh about stuff. Treacherous things going on and you think that's funny? We don't laugh about that. Cell Block B1, we don't laugh about that, dude. Ain't nothing funny about what they doing over there. Ain't nothing funny about how they get down. Ain't no funny about how they do our people. Ain't nothing funny about that. You think it's funny? Everybody's starting to crowd around you with their shanks in their back pockets. It's like, yeah, we see a problem. They ain't got a damn thing to offer us. You all need to listen when you hear the signs of somebody that's making it very clear that they are predisposed towards selling the rest of you out. See, that's the thing we got to latch on to, is when folks start giving off the very clear signals and the very clear signs that they are predisposed towards selling the rest of us out. When you willing to sell folks out for sexual access to white supremacists and they bed wenches, when your price is that damn low, the best thing we can do is move your ass out the way. That's the best thing we can do, is move your ass out the way. Please understand that. It's going to get taken care of. See, this is a whole different conversation from what them other folks have. They're not on code. They're not disciplined. This is the conversation that Donald Trump is not having with them because he can't. This is what being on code looks like. You see, I can't trust you as a man if your priority is sexual access. Our priority is supposed to be power, wealth, and influence. I can't trust a man at the top of his priorities is sexual access. And he doesn't have any standards for that which he's laying down with. See, that's a male operating on the level of a dog. You want to know where your out-of-control STD rates come from? Show me where the dog psychology is dominant. Show me where the cockroach psychology is dominant, and I will show you where all the other evils will fester and spread. Talking about your desire to get into bed with a female who A, doesn't like you, and B, doesn't respect you. Nigga, you a traitor to yourself. You're a traitor to yourself. There's no way in the hell that I can trust you. You can't even trust yourself. You are willing to get naked in a room alone with a female who has openly expressed that she neither likes you nor respects you? And then if she walks out of that room and picks up the phone and call them people and do something treacherous, what in the hell? Brother, you just got to hold that L at that point. Because the issue is you. What are you doing alone, naked, and vulnerable with people who told you that they don't like you and don't respect you? Do you realize how pitifully pathetic of options you have to be for you to end up there? You're supposed to be looking at yourself in the mirror like, how the hell did I end up here? You're supposed to be looking at yourself saying, how in the hell did I end up in a musty, sleazy hotel with Laura Loomer? Damn! What in the world happened in my life that I ended up here? How many wrong turns in life did I take to end up here? You're literally in bed. You're not even in bed because you're never going to get there. You're desiring. You know how pathetic and pitiful you got to be to desire to even be there. Boy, I wish I was there. Talk about a complete failure as a person. A complete failure as an organism. And this is why for the rest of us, if we wish to survive, we got to excommunicate and exile those individuals. They can't be allowed to be around us. They have to be expelled. They can't be allowed to be here. They're off code. They got to get dealt with by any and all means necessary. They cannot be allowed to invade and pervade our spaces. When individuals openly tell you that they neither like you nor respect you and you desire to have sexual access to them, you are a traitor to yourself. And if we allow a person who's heard folks don't like us or respect us, and he's talking about how much he would love to spend time with them, well, he's a problem for you and me, especially if we don't deal with that. He's a problem for us. He's a problem right here, right now, for the rest of us. Because I need you to understand something. They're not joking when they say that.
Boy, what in the hell's the matter with you?
They're not joking when they say that. They mean that. They're serious about that. They really do mean that. When these fellas tell you, Candace Owens show is cute, just remember, single moms raising their little sissy five mama's boys and whatnot. He's not anybody's ideal candidate for a mate, so he spends his time looking at sexual pictures on the internet. No matter what in the world comes through, he's just desperate for anything he could get. So you see, he doesn't feel like he has the luxury of turning anything down. He'll accept anything. So Pearly Things, Candace Owens, Laura Loomer, he's all thumbs up for whatever happens. And you see these bottom-feeding, scum-sucking sewer dwellers. Those are the individuals we can't have around us. Throughout history, your obligation is to identify your traitors and backstabbers early. Your job is to identify your traitors and backstabbers early so that they can be expelled early. Not letting them sit there for several years and contaminate the environment, and then next thing you know, they've gotten folks to start compromising. They're supposed to get dealt with early. Not only that, they're supposed to get dealt with in the open. There is a reason why we do what no one else does here. We have an open conversation. So you see, if our logic was lacking, if the code was off, somebody would be able to call us up and point that out and make it very clear. They're unable to do so because you have an open forum. The other problem that they have is that in an open forum, they would have to actually say what they really think openly. And that's not what they're going to do. So they look for the little coon cliques that they get together with, but they do not say it in an environment like this where it can be openly confronted and exposed. They don't do that. Candace Owens is a one-way conversation. She does not have an open forum, nor will she have an open forum. All she did was interview Nick Fuentes. It went south very, very quickly. Tucker Carlson does not have an open forum. He cannot afford to have one. He would be exposed and destroyed very, very quickly. Roland Martin cannot have an open forum. He's terrified to death of that being the case. They cannot have one. I openly invite these things. You see, when Kamala Harris was running for president, the best thing she could have done was have an open forum. She refused to do that. She refused to do that because she was scared to death of what would occur. She was scared to death of what would happen. She wasn't going to let that occur. And I want you all to see what it is that makes us different. We need to have things like this. As far as I'm concerned, you folks online and whatnot, you're hosting programs and things. The highest level of legitimacy is going to be if you talk to people openly. If you have it open, no call screeners, no nothing, and everybody gets to go ahead and speak. This is the diamond standard of communication. These one-way conversations where you have these baboons on YouTube trying to replicate what they do on cable television, where they get a panel of people who agree with them, and they all just sit around echo chambering what they already think, and nobody gets to challenge it and debunk it. There's a reason for that. And it is incumbent on us that when we see disreputable people or people demonstrating or expressing disreputable thoughts, disreputable positions there, and we say, okay, there's a conversation here. When you see that, that's an issue. When you see that, that is an issue. These other folks would not be in the situation that they were in today if they had more of that going on, but they don't. And the big problem with that is because you never actually open up an avenue to be able to debunk those things. It doesn't get to go like it should. You see, when I did my documentary film, Race War, I got to talk to Richard Spencer and Jared Taylor directly. After that, things got real quiet. Yeah, that's what happens if you actually have an open forum. When that occurs, all of a sudden things go differently. This is why it's incumbent to have a competent operative class, but as individuals, you got to be competent your damn selves. So when you see garbage like the stuff you see on your screen right here, everybody's supposed to be on code for that, because them other folks are on code about us. Them other folks are on code about us. You can host a whole damn YouTube program, and then soon Sheely, whole YouTube program got black boyfriends, and then telling you about how great Nick Fuentes is. So let me get this straight. You were alone, naked in the dark with a chick who thinks Nick Fuentes is great. You don't think that you were sitting in the mouth of jeopardy? You don't think that you were in extreme jeopardy at that moment? You don't think that's what was going on? You think that's exciting? You think that's cute? Like to go a little bit further with it here, though. Like to go a little bit further with it because, as you all have heard here, there's been a whole bunch of females out there. Oh, the chicks over there on the right. Man, the chicks over there on the right, they going straight at each other's jugulars about where they've been laying up at. They've been going at each other's jugulars about where they've been laying up at. Man, there's all types of evil going on here. All types of evil. And what you're finding out is that from Nancy Mace to Marjorie Taylor Greene to Laura Loomer, man, these white supremacist chicks is crazy out here, ain't they? Damn! Dude, these chicks out here are raw. I mean, on a level you ain't heard, talking about their Christian religions and their Christian chains and the love of Jesus. And I mean, everything is raw. These chicks is, I mean, you can get it at the gym, at the Arby's, at the drive-thru, at the Shake Shack. It goes down. It goes down, do you hear me? However, it also goes a little bit further because there's an avenue of this you all had not thought about here for a few moments, which I will remind you of. Did you notice that ain't nobody else said anything about this stuff? What? Y'all notice we ain't heard these dudes at the gym? They got a hold of Marjorie Taylor Greene. They knocked it down. They're not on the internet talking about, yeah, me and Marjorie was doing the thing. Nancy Grace. That heifer's got a damn Rolodex in D.C. This done seen what she like naked. Ain't nobody saying nothing. No World Star Hip Hop, no Shade Room, no nothing. Do y'all realize that? These folks is laying up with congresswomen. And nobody said a word. Ain't nobody leaked nothing. Nobody said nothing. That's being on code. You can like it, you can hate it, but there's one thing you got to agree with. That's being on code, man. That's being on code. Dude, Mary on American Idol couldn't be quiet about him laying up with Paula Abdul. Over here on the racist right, hey man, they quiet. They sitting up here body slamming your wife. Your wife is a congresswoman. These dudes are sitting up here, got your wife in the figure 4, and ain't nobody said nothing. Ain't nobody said nothing. Now think about that for a few moments. They came through. They wanted to see what your wife felt like. And they rolled on out. They ain't jumping up later. You know, they're all jealous and angry. And Marjorie, why don't you call me back? Nobody's giving Marjorie the why didn't you call me back thing. I would like to tell my story to the internet. Me and Marjorie Taylor Greene were involved in a 2-year relationship, an affair while she was married, and ain't nobody saying that. Nobody's saying a word. Think about that for just a few moments. You want to talk about being on code? That is being on code. Like it, hate it, hey, that's being on code. That really, really is. However, the seeds were sown a while ago. The seeds were sown a while ago, and a lot of folks there didn't understand it, didn't see it, or didn't want to understand it, didn't want to see it. But the seeds were there a while ago. It's only now that the dirty laundry is being exposed to the world, and now everybody's trying to say something here. Now they're trying to say something. Yeah, now they can't conceal it anymore. Now that they can't conceal it anymore, and in that note, I would like to go ahead and remind you. I'd just like to go ahead and remind you that there are other folks out there who have known for some time their damn selves. There are other folks out there who've known for some time they damn selves. It's not just Candace Owens. No, no, no. No, I need to remind you that over there on the Daily Wire, it wasn't just Candace Owens, people. Wasn't just her. There were other people. They got some of their other folks who work for them. And they've been saying other things here too. I want to remind you about Brett Cooper. Oh, Brett Cooper, I got to drag you on out here too, ma'am. Got to drag old Brett out here. She wanted to say a few things. And by the way, we've been talking about this for years. It's only now these folks can't hide it anymore. Now they're out in the open. Then they start telling y'all about other stuff. Hey, Brett Cooper. Hey, ma'am, just this week you weighed in on it, and she wanted to let you all, that she was spilling the tea. She wanted to let you all know what was going on there for a moment. So, hey, Brett, why don't you go ahead and expose what you've been sitting on all these years, since now you can't hide it anymore. Why don't you go ahead and expose it?
If that makes sense. Sorry, I think that this is probably getting kind of jumbled, but I'm trying to get to a point here. Like, these alleged stories about these women and women like them and things that happen at these conferences, which I have attended as a student, I've spoken at, like, these aren't new to me, unfortunately. Like, this is not shocking information, and it's not just women. Like, I hear stories about men going to these conferences and cheating on their wives, straight men getting to these conferences and going on Grindr and hooking up with dudes. I did a whole interview with my friend Amir.
Nigga, what?
Yeah, you heard that. Now, did y'all hear what she said? She said straight men. I would dispute that, Miss Cooper. But did you hear what she said? She said, what? They're straight men. I'm talking about not just men, straight men who show up and then hook up with other dudes on Grindr. Okay, she used to be one of them Disney child stars, so, I mean, her definition of straight men is apparently very flexible, but yeah. Why didn't she say this the whole damn time?
Unfortunately, like, this is not shocking information, and it's not just women. Like, I hear stories about men going to these conferences and cheating on their wives, straight men getting to these conferences and going on Grindr and hooking up with dudes. I did a whole interview with my friend Amir, and we talked about the hypocrisy and what he sees as a gay man at so many of these conferences. You know, the trad women who LARP online for attention, but meanwhile are sleeping around with a bunch of guys behind the scenes, not actually living the values that they say that they are, and are encouraging other women to follow.
Damn! Hey, Brett. Okay, y'all been inviting people to Turning Point USA and CPAC and the Republican National Convention and all these other events. Y'all been doing this now for years and years. Y'all never said it goes down. Hey, y'all, I think I figured out why Herman Cain and was Coleman Cruz and a bunch of these other coons show up at these events. What? I think I just figured out why all the coon class loves to show up at these events. It gives the white women an opportunity to get it in on the sneak. Oh, it gives the white women an opportunity to get it in interracially on the sneak. Your husband is sitting there thinking about, just the coons around and whatnot. And it's like, you don't know what they doing. Oh, they getting their Jason Whitlock on. So I think I figured out why it is that them black dudes like to show up at these little old right-wing white supremacist events. 'Cause what's really going on? Oh, man. No wonder they think the rest of us are dumb. That's the problem. You don't understand these things, but they like, man, look here, he's like, I'm so glad the rest of y'all ain't here competing. Don't you realize all the coons out there, boy, they glad that they got these events. So the rest of us ain't never gonna show up at that. Yeah, the real black men will never show up at Turning Point USA, so I got all the white women's to myself. Birdman hand rub. Oh, this fella's sitting here dressed like Steve Urkel, and he's like, man, look here, Birdman hand rub. Oh, look, there's Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Grace, Gretchen Carlson. Man, it's the white woman buffet. Don't y'all know it? It's the white woman buffet. If you don't mind them being over 45 or 55, I mean, if you've got flexible standards, this could work out for you. This could work out for you if you've got flexible standards. And remember, what happens at CPAC stays at CPAC.
And deal with it.
Remember that? Brett just showed you that. What happens at CPAC stays at CPAC. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Yes, sir. Y'all remember, we didn't hear nothing about Andrew Gillum till you caught him in the room. We didn't hear anything about that. Yeah, I mean, look, if you don't mind gluten-free ice cream, and potato casserole, if you don't mind that, catering will be done by Shoney's. What? If you don't mind that, you'll be all right. But yeah, Brett's letting you know, by the way, yeah, that's the get down. And she's like, this isn't new. They've been doing it. Then y'all wonder why it is that these organizations are like they are. It's like, who the hell goes there, bruh? Who the hell goes to these things? These are the folk who go. And they've been doing this for years. Years. They've had years, and these ain't just the old ones, the middle-aged ones either. It's the younger ones stuff. Man, this has been going on for years, dude. These women been getting set out for years. These fellas getting set out for years. Then you wondering why it is these folks can get some money. Hell yeah. People, do you think that Jeffrey Epstein was the only one compiling information? Damn! How many of you think that Jeffrey Epstein was the only one compiling information? You think Jeffrey Epstein was the only one taking pictures and telling gals to go off with dudes and whatnot? You think he was the only one? You think he was? What are you talking about? Better understand that. These people here been doing all kinds of stuff for years. Man, you got the CIA, the FBI, and whatnot. Folks want to know how you do things. Next thing you know, you're George Santos going to Congress. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Why is it the heterosexual dude who ain't doing a bunch of crazy stuff can't get any support? It's like, you're not compromised. You're not compromised. Gonna be hard to control you because you're not compromised. So they would prefer for you to be pre-compromised. You think you showed up at CPAC, folk, don't y'all know they take pictures of every damn body go up in there? They know everybody who's there. They see everybody who's there. They know at these events you're a known entity, whether you realize it or not. They know who you are. They know who you are. They know exactly who you are. And these things matter. So I want to make sure you all understand that this week has been grimy. This week it's been grimy. We just sitting back minding our own business. And it's just grimy. They want to make sure about that. They want to make sure that can't go much further about that. Then you see these people show up at these events and it's like, well, where the hell you come from? Now you know. Now you know. These people didn't just jump up from nowhere, and then this is the stuff that they're finally blowing the whistle about each other online about. Man, don't you know what's been going on way before now? Brett's talking about it like it ain't nothing. Yeah, because everybody understood the necessity of keeping it on the low. Everyone understood the necessity of keeping things on the low. You got to keep it on the low. You got to be quiet about you gonna bust this thing up. Next thing you know, you start having undercover bloggers showing up when folks realize that this is the spot. When folks realize that this is the spot where it goes down, next thing you know, you start having other people infiltrating and asking questions. Now you got folks getting things on video. Now you got folks following your wife around, following your husband around. Now you got people seeing where y'all creeping at. They just handed down indictments for the mayor of New Orleans. So Mayor Cantrell is now officially under federal indictment for creeping around with her boo thing on the taxpayer dime. She was too open with it. A citizen recorded what was going on. Next thing you know, it's all going downhill. I want y'all to see that that's been going on for so damn long. They've been lying about MLK. They've been lying about MLK all this time here. If you had facts, you would have released that. That's what they want to keep you distracted. These other folks got stuff on them and y'all ain't even heard anything about it. These people right here, you think it's a political rally. You think it's a political event. Everybody's waiting for folks to stop speaking so they can go ahead and get back and get their freak on. You think Diddy was the worst you ever seen? You think Diddy was the worst you ever saw? I'm letting y'all know right now, Brett Cooper comes from Hollywood. She's like, that's why she was non-phased. She's like, hell, we seen a whole lot worse than this in Hollywood. Everybody doing that. Including your Congressional Black Caucus. What? Just understand that. But for the folks over there on the right who have made a career of feigning like they're so pious and so righteous, and then you find out, I'll be damned, they the most damn iniquitous, sinful folk in the room and still at it. They want you thinking that we're the good people. You all are so ghetto, and then you take a look at what the hell they're talking about. You take a look at what the hell they're on. You take a look at how the hell they act. How in the world do they have the gall to try to say something about you, and this is how they're acting? But then again, I can't say acting because it's not an act. Yeah, it took a while, but the real damn thing done come out. The real damn thing done come out. Hey, I'm going to say something right now to some of my black YouTubers. Hey, man, you just got the damn tip. You got the tip off. I know it might be difficult for you psychologically, but you might want to slip your way up into the next Turning Points USA or the next CPAC. What? To my black YouTubers who want to get some real original content. Some of y'all might want to do that. You might want to see if you can creep up on one of your white supremacist female YouTubers. You might want to see if you can do that. You might get some exclusive footage, some exclusive text messages. You never know. If you want to get some exclusive content, it might be for you. Have a video out there tomorrow. I'm getting stalked by this alt-right YouTuber on Twitter. Oh, I'm getting stalked. Oh, she won't quit calling me. I can't make any outgoing calls. She keep calling in. I can't use my phone. I'm not even joking. Hey, there's some of my YouTubers out there. If you want to get some real exclusive content, you know what? You might want to dip through the next CPAC or the next Turning Points. You might want to dip through. From what I heard, it's lit. Especially with the middle-aged married women. What? You might have done a lot of things in your life. I don't think you can say you slept with a congresswoman. I don't know if that was really on your bucket list before you came about. That might not have been on your bucket list originally, but yeah, man. Some of you fellas might get some exclusive content. She talking one way on YouTube and then she's in your damn phone, your text messages. Talking to you like Shannon Sharp's white girlfriend was. What? Oh, she might be in your phone talking to you like Gabrielle Zuniga was talking to Shannon Sharp. Where's my Mandingo warrior? Can't wait for you to come see me and we can freak off.
Oh, please.
Yeah, she's trying to use the language and be sultry, and it's like, okay, baby, you were doing better before you started talking. Some of y'all might pull it off. Some of you might pull it off. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. There's Sean here on Zoom. Let me see if we can get Sean up here on Zoom. Sean, I don't see anybody here on Zoom here. So Sean, if you're not there, you got a few seconds here to go ahead and make sure you have everything up and going. Otherwise, we're gonna have to move on. So I don't know what's going on with Sean here. Don't worry, the internet's not gonna see you, but I just want to make sure we don't have any trolling issues, Sean. So 2 more seconds and then we're gonna be gone here. Okay, Sean is gone. Yeah, some of my black YouTubers, you might have an opportunity to get some exclusive footage. Hey, it might be worth it to you to just go collect phone numbers. You ain't even got to sleep with nobody. Just go and collect phone numbers. Get a black man who's looking right and smelling right. And man, look here, dude. I would just go collect phone numbers. If you can do that, that will suffice for you too. If you can just collect the phone numbers and get some text messages going, get some saucy text messages going, you're good. That right there be enough to feed your channel. That would be enough to feed your channel. She'll be spending the rest of her whole damn life trying to explain it away. She would spend the rest of her life trying to explain away why it is that she did that. Oh man. She'd be trying to spend the whole rest of her life trying to explain away why that went down the way it went down. She don't know. Yeah, buddy, y'all are leaving a bunch of money on the table. I'm just saying. Yeah, if y'all want to know why it is that these square ass, coon ass, awkward dudes on YouTube always talking this white supremacy, where's Officer Tatum? What? Damn! I bet your big awkward ass has been in a few of these events. And that's why you can't get him off of it. He can't get no play anywhere else. I'm a star in C-Back. You know, I was a police officer, Marjorie. Oh, tell me more, Tatum. That's right. That's right, Lord Loomer. And then I was at the police academy. Y'all know that's them kind of dudes. Them kind of fellas there. I bet you we got footage of him there. It's like, okay, it all makes sense now. Oh, it all makes sense, people. All these black YouTube conservatives. And it's like, this is just real weird. You niggas look real odd. How did you end up here? Now I know how you ended up here. I'm like, oh, it makes sense. Tatum wasn't happy either, by the way. Old Nick Fuentes and stuff. Now Tatum trying to backtrack. Nah, nigga, you stay over there. Nope, you and the white supremacists got to stay over there. Don't try to ease your awkward ass back over here. We don't need no coons. You stay over there with them. You, Candace Owens, the rest of them, y'all all stay your asses over there. You ain't slithering back over here, you worms. Nope, you gonna have that white chick calling you nigga the whole time. We gonna leave you over there. She gonna be calling you nigga all day. You got to stay there and suck up the disrespect. That's where you're going to be. These niggas be coming through with their little American flags and their lapel pins, and it's looking crazy. Their corduroy jackets. Their corduroy jackets and their plaid golf pants, and talking about them where they hanging out at and things. And then it gets real weird because the white girls don't really even want to talk about that. The white girls want to talk about some hood stuff, and you ain't got no hood in you. That's the crazy part. Take a look at how the white girls talk. The white girls in reality, they really trying to get some hood stuff going on. She doesn't want a fake white man. She's got plenty of real white men around her. If she wants a black man around, that's because she wants the black experience. She's full up on the white one. So there's the killing part is that if you go talk to the white girls, by the way, they don't want you imitating the white dudes. She's really trying to get some hood action going. Yeah, that white suburban life does not excite her. She's trying to get some thuggery. Is what she's trying to get. So there's the killing part. Can y'all imagine Officer Tatum trying to do his hood impression? Nigga, please. Officer Tatum and Myron Gaines and them trying to do a hood impression.
Nigga, what?
Nothing sounds right. Nothing's believable. It's like somebody doing an audition for the Shaft film, nothing's right, nothing's believable. This nigga's got no baritone or nothing. She's just like, oh, this is awkward. Well, at least he's got the skin tone. At least he's got that. Calls himself the American conservative on YouTube or whatever. He's got a bunch of little flags and things. He's sitting there driving the car like driving Miss Daisy. And meanwhile, the Laura Loomer gets in your car and starts turning on Young Thug. What? Laura Loomer gets in your car and starts turning on Nipsey Hussle. Laura Loomer gets in the damn car and start bumping Lil Wayne. Boy, if you could look around her damn phone. Y'all fellas getting up in there, turning on. She's trying to get some Travis Scott. You trying to turn on Travis Trent. You trying to turn on Randy Travis, and she talking about some Travis Scott. Your two phones are polar opposites. Turn off that hood music. She thought she found the spot. She thought she found the spot. Y'all know how it happens. It ain't no joke. Show up there at CPAC. She trying to twerk that little bony backside. Damn. Yeah. Them fellas, they leave their YouTube channels where they done cooned out all day. They showed up at CPAC and Turning Point USA, and Here she is trying to twerk that little bony backbone and ain't no real music playing and nothing. It's just, it's all country music up in here. And she trying to get the hell up out of there quicker than you are. She trying to get the hell out of there quicker than you are. She's hoping you know where the spot is. Can you imagine going someplace and expecting Officer Tatum to tell you what's going on? He don't know where. He's trying to stay away from her. He doesn't even know where any of the good food spots are or anything. She's hanging out with him. It's messed up. She hanging out with them. This nigga, first thing he trying to do is go to Taco Bell or Olive Garden. She's like, I'll be damned. I'll be damned. She's sitting there like, snake eyes again. Thought I had a winner. Snake eyes again. I got another damn lame. Yeah, that's why Michael Eric Dyson thought he had a chance with Nancy Mace. He thought he had a chance. I'm like, nah, Mike. Nah, you too light-skinned for that. Damn! What? Oh, boy, the light-skinned fella's gonna be at me now. Don't come for me. Come on now. Michael ain't got the juice, y'all. He can't pull it off. Michael can't pull it off. I showed y'all what he was wearing. I showed you how he was looking. Mike, it ain't happening for you. You can't pull it off. I know you want it, but you can't get it. I know you want it, but you can't get it, Mike. So just let it go. But Mike was like, hell, everybody else had their turn.
Oh, please.
Yeah, on the one hand, though, I can understand Mike, because Mike is like, wait a minute, everybody else done had their turn. How the hell you gonna turn me down? Everybody else done got it. Hell, your husband ain't around or nothing. How you gonna tell me no? Mike, you ain't papered up enough, dude. You're not papered up enough. She's trying to hit a home run, bro. You ain't papered up enough. She ain't looking for a companion for the night. She's looking for a companion for the night who's papered up. Bro, you don't qualify. You don't qualify. So, yeah, it's a whole bunch of them fellas. Now we know why they hang out in so many of these places like that. It's like it's real odd and real weird. And you're like, what are they getting that is worth them being these pariahs for? And y'all didn't understand. This nigga is a lame everywhere else on planet Earth except CPAC and Turning Point USA. He's a black star up in there. Oh, he's a black star up in there. Oh, the white women don't have to feel self-conscious as much talking to him. Oh, he's a star there. He knows that there is 0% chance that the black empowerment people will attend this event. They kind of feel secure. They're like, hey, we know for a damn fact the black channel ain't gonna be up in here. There might be a lot of folk up in here, but the black channel ain't gonna be here. Oh, we ain't got to worry about being accountable to nobody. The black channel is not gonna be up in here, and he is right. By the way, one more thing, and he is correct. Y'all, they gonna turn on Lee Greenwood, God bless the USA, for the 15,000th time. Oh, as soon as I hear that little piano going, I'm going to start easing towards the exit. I'm going to turn that on to some Ted Nugent. I'm like, oh, you start feeling your soul deteriorating. I'm like, are y'all sure you don't need some black folk? Are you certain? Do you hear what the hell is coming out these speakers? Are you certain you don't need some black folk in here? Because I'm listening to these speakers right now and y'all on life support. You need some black folk up in here to rescue this. It's like that Carnival Cruise thing. It's like, okay, all right. They start turning on the Lil Nas X. Damn! Oh, they start turning on the Lil Nas X. They look around to make sure that Megyn Kelly isn't there so they can turn on some Beyonce country music. And It's like, okay, all right. I'm tapping out. I'll be up in my room if y'all need anything. I got to go. I'm just telling y'all that was run me off right there. As soon as I hear that thing, first 3 twangs come on and Billy Ray Cyrus, all right. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. But now we know what's been going on behind the scenes all these years. Now you know what's happening. Everything that we suspected was going on, it's going on times 10. It's Sodom and Gomorrah over there. Everybody's sexual rap sheet is out of damn mean line and out of control. It's Smut Fest 2025 to make up for the last 100 years of it. And they're going to try to be on code as much as they can. But from here on in, it's just going to be white supremacist hoes airing each other out. That's all it's going to be. Oh, it's not over. Believe me, it's not over. These are the mega guns, but it's not over. This is the new normal. They're just going to be airing each other out from here on in. It's getting terrible. It's going to get even worse. The white dudes are going to demand. That's going to probably be a major component of the white males demanding Christian fundamentalism return, and we're going to probably talk about that tomorrow. We're probably going to go into that here tomorrow, but that's going to be a major factor in them demanding that because they think that's going to ensure them a more chaste, more pure form of female to deal with. And I'm like, dude, you're chaste, pure females. We're at CPAC and stuff here. This is what's been going on. These are your chaste, religious, Christian, God-fearing females. This is them. This is them. You just didn't want to accept it. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If we have earned the right for you to click the subscribe button and to click the notifications bell, if we've earned that, you've heard tonight's program, and if we've earned that, go ahead and show your love for it and hit that button for us tonight. And if you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought, the 720 degrees of analysis you receive absolutely nowhere else. Isn't it time that you are a part of what we do every week? Go on, click that red subscribe button and that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. And while you're at it, go to our website, blackchannelfilms.com. Check out our groundbreaking, best-selling documentary work, blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I'd like to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to my man Mark B, Quentin Sowell, Fear the Nun, Sir Shy, William Aarons, and everyone else here who's contributed to support tonight's program. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program, live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.